welcome to the Badaboom podcast. On this episode, Chris and Troy talk about the announcement of Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine in Deadpool 3. Listen in to hear our thoughts.
Crazy day today. Not that it's like totally surprising in some ways, surprising in not so much in other ways, but as Ryan Reynolds does, he, master social media marketer, posted an update about Deadpool 3. And in it, there's a special guest, a special little cameo of a certain Australian playing a Canadian superhero. And it's been announced that Hugh Jackman is going to be back as Wolverine.
Yeah, basically, I kind of wasn't too excited about it at first. And then I was like, wait, they've got to been building this for so long. Like, not only all the Wolverine references and all the movies, but I've seen multiple reports on Twitter and stuff where Ryan Reynolds is talking to Disney, and Ryan Reynolds has done other movies with Disney like Free Guy and stuff like that. So he's been on the radar, but now it's like, okay, it sounds like he can actually do what he wants to do with this character. And he's getting his best friend, Hugh Jackman, to be in the movie now too.
Yeah, and I wonder if some of it was, the background deal making, because at the beginning of the announcement, it's like, hey, sorry we missed you at D23, but we've been working on some things and stuff like that. And it's only 2 years away. So September 2024, that's when we'll see, if the date holds, obviously. What's crazy too is that seems to be the fall of the Fox movies, because not long after that, we'll see Fantastic Four. So you'll have two movies that were Fox properties finally entering the MCU. We've seen Xavier come back. So it's not so surprising in some ways that Hugh Jackman will be back. But, I know some people are a little disappointed because they felt that Logan was very much, that swan song, that we'll never see him again, because that was such a good send-off. But in reality, I think Hugh has always toyed and been excited about the idea of being in the MCU proper. So I think if obviously they came up to him about another Wolverine movie, he'd probably say no. But the fact that, one, this is Deadpool, so it's with one of his best friends, Ryan Reynolds. Two, it's in the MCU, so there's the opportunity for him to possibly interact with other Marvel characters, really is what drove him to be like, yes, I'll do this.
And he might finally get to be in his comic book accurate costume. We got teased at the end of the Wolverine with it, and that was like in a deleted scene. So, this might be the time where it's like a variant of Wolverine and he gets to come out wearing that costume, or maybe it's the blue and yellow, but we might finally actually get that comic book accurate Wolverine.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, I'm just excited to see him back. It's one of those things like Tobey Maguire back as Spider-Man, where, Hugh was one of the first actors that you saw in, a superhero movie where you're like, I can't see anyone else playing this role. And it seems like Marvel agreed, for the past year and a half, 2 years since the Fox deal closed, people have been like, who's going to play Wolverine? Is it going to be Henry Cavill? Is it going to be this person and that person? And I think probably a lot of meetings had happened and stuff. And Kevin Feige probably was like, we can probably just get Hugh Jackman back.
Is he going to be back just for this movie, or like going forward he is it? Or at the end of this movie, I mean, it's Deadpool. So Deadpool's probably going to say, oh, great, this guy, he's probably just a knockoff variant or something. But like, are we going to get something else, you think? That will be a more permanent actor for Wolverine for the MCU?
I mean, who knows? It seems like their plans around the mutants are a little unclear right now. There's been some, hints to it. Kamala Khan was revealed to be a mutant in Miss Marvel. Obviously, we have Namor going to be in Black Panther. It looks like they're going to be a mutant, but we don't know how they're going to be introduced to this. I think people are already speculating about Secret Wars, which, was something, it's a clear place to introduce a character like this, because obviously it's from a different universe. But who knows? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing an older Wolverine, especially Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, just to be able to see, that version of the character interact with others. But sadly, it's a little too late because a lot of the characters you would want to see him interact with are dead, are gone. You know, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor's in another world.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cool to see him. You know, he did make his first appearance in Hulk 181, so it would be cool to see him. You know, and Mark Ruffalo in the same share scenes together.
It's possible. We don't know what's going on in She-Hulk quite yet with him, but it's possible. Even she could be in it, or maybe Daredevil. So
And I think we're getting to the point in the MCU where, you know, some of these things feel tired, and they've gotten to the point where, hey, maybe we just don't make this so complicated, and we respect the audience to understand that these things are complicated, and hey, why don't we play the hits? It's like, we know this works. Why take a risk in introducing something weird and different? Which, you know, I applaud them for trying different things in the last year, you know, with Disney Plus, but and some of the movies, but you know, it's been very flat lately. And to have something like an announcement like this, it makes people forget that, you know, the last year of movies were kind of meh. I
yeah,
think it's always the thing about the MCU is not what you've seen. It's about keeping you excited about what's next. It's those
exactly.
post-credit scenes. It's how it connects. And that's why I think Kevin Feige is a great producer, because he figures out a way to, just when you're like, this is kind of like boring. I'm tired of this. You know, maybe we need to kind of like reset this whole thing. He introduces an element where you're like, okay, I'm back in.
Yeah. And I one of the clever things I think about having Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine is I've seen on social media so much people being like, "Oh, this guy could be the next Wolverine, or this guy could be it, or this guy could be it," and it really seems like no one wants to touch the role because that's like Hugh Jackman's legacy in a sense. And by having Hugh Jackman come back inside an MCU movie, I think he gets to kind of say goodbye to the character in a different sense of like, this is over. This is now I'm closing the book on me playing this character in this universe, and you can hand that baton off to an actor for like the mutants and what they want to do next a little bit easier, and there won't be any like, oh, I don't want to take this role because I don't want to upset Hugh Jackman or anything like that. Like Hugh Jackman will have done his part, said his goodbyes, and maybe even be like, yeah, we want to bring him on set for the next person that's going to be Wolverine, so he can do mentorship or whatever. But like, this will be his good way to like close the book on this character in the MCU, and hopefully encourage other people that have thought about taking on this role for other movies to feel confident in doing so.
Yeah, and it's something that people have wanted, and we're back in the fan service age of the MCU. You know, fans wanted John Krasinski as Reed Richards. They got him.
This whole phase has been fan service. Like Spider-Man No Way Home is just a giant fan
Exactly. So
service.
it's been crazy. I didn't expect this on a Monday. Sadly, it was ruined for me because I took a nap. I woke up, and everyone, even before I could watch the video of Ryan Reynolds doing it, it's like, Wolverine is back. Yes. I'm like, all right, I guess I know what this video is about.
Hey, but I didn't text you that. I didn't text you that. I want to be clear. If it's the one time I did not spoil something for you.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather that be spoiled than, you know, an episode of Young Justice, but I forgive you for that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's something I'm excited about to see, especially being that we might see him in the proper costume, and the way Ryan has teased this in other movies. You know, he's talked about at one point that Deadpool 3 was a road trip movie between Wolverine and Deadpool, which would be hilarious. And I hope some version of that comes out in this movie. And with this, it'll be interesting, you know, that we're going to get a Deadpool 3 before we kind of know where the mutants are. But we also have Ant-Man coming up, and all these things that have the opportunity to expand the universe. I have some theories about, you know, Black Panther and how that expands things, especially when it comes to the Fantastic Four. So yeah, I'm back in, you know, as much as I was in that spot where I'm like, this is kind of boring. They got me back.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. And like, Black Panther, I was reading, it's going to probably feel like a big shift because we've had really lighthearted content the whole like year and a half or so. And this is going to be where they really lean into some of those feelings. And then I'm like, you know what? That is going to be a serious movie. But then I'm going to be
Yeah.
ready for some lighthearted fun with Deadpool in 20 was it 2024?
2024, fast
Dang.
approaching.
It feels like that's forever away, but I also thought Ant-Man was forever away, but I'm like, it's only like in like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, it's like 6 months away. It's crazy.
Dang. Time just works differently here.
Yeah. Time is a flat circle.
Yeah. But speaking of characters that could come back for this, I'd love to see some more Domino in this movie. You know, Cable, they kind of hint that he does get his device fixed and goes back to the future. But if he's in this movie, if he's sticking around, I know Josh Brolin wasn't the most excited about how Fox kind of made him play that character, but now that it's kind of owned by Disney, it's like, hey, you know, you don't have to follow everything that you had to before. So maybe we'll have Cable come back, but definitely want some Domino. Maybe another cameo by the Vanisher. You know, who knows?
For me, I just want to see those two characters. I'm not really thinking about the wider universe as a whole. Maybe we'll finally get Mr. Sinister. All these years he's been teased in the X movies. Cable is cool, but obviously we got the Cable and Deadpool pairing. I think the pairing everyone wants is Wolverine and Deadpool, and
Yeah,
we're getting that. And I'm just gonna enjoy what we're getting. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I need to see the X-Men in this. I need to see Beast or whatever. I'm like, just those two characters. That's all I need, and I'm glad that we don't have to wait 3 years for it.
yeah. I mean, like you said, if it's a road trip movie and they're just talking about, hey, remember that time we did this? Like, hey, that's a great movie. Just have all these flashbacks.
Exactly.
So either way, we got plenty of time. I think we can already agree it's going to be a great movie because Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, like, it's a dynamic duo powerhouse right there. So 2024, that's one of the movies I'm already looking forward to.
Yeah, it's marked on my calendar. I'm actually more excited for that than Fantastic Four.
Whoa! Oh man!
Well,
I'll
I've seen
slide.
I've seen three
Okay.
Fantastic Four movies, so I've never
Touche.
I've never seen Wolverine and Deadpool proper in the same movie.
Okay,
We've seen it in X-Men Origins, but
That wasn't
that doesn't
Deadpool.
count. That
doesn't count. No, he went back in time and fixed that at the end of Deadpool 2, so it doesn't exist. Just like Green Lantern doesn't exist.
No, doesn't.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward for Deadpool in 2024, and with that, bada boom.
Bada boom. Thank you for listening to the Badaboom podcast. Keep the conversation going on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Get in the comments on our YouTube channel and let us know what you'd like to hear next. And please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen.